So let's look at a couple more example problems where we need to write the equation of a line that is perpendicular or parallel to a line that we're given. And that line is also going to pass through some specific point. So with this problem, we need to write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to y is equal to -1, and it passes through the point 8 comma -4. Now, when you just have y or x is equal to some number, this is either a vertical or a horizontal line. And with these types of lines, you want to ask what is always true. And in this case, y is always -1. So let's find a y value of -1. And for every point on the line, it would have that exact same y value. So this is a horizontal line. So we can draw that out. And the slope of a horizontal line, it essentially has no steepness. It's flat ground if you can imagine walking along this. So the slope of this line is 0. But the main idea is that our line is perpendicular to this. So if this is a flat line, that means our line is going to be exactly vertical. In fact, the slope of our line is going to be undefined, since a vertical line has an undefined slope. But what we do know is that it goes through 8 minus 4. So if we plot that point, 8 minus 4, we can get an idea of what our graph should look like. So let's use a scale of 2 here. So 2, 4, 6. So here is 8. And for the y values, we use a scale of 1. So 1, 2, 3, and so on. So we go to 8 and -4. That's about right there. And since we know this is a horizontal line and our line's perpendicular to this, it's at a right angle to this has to be a vertical line. So let's draw a vertical line through that point. So it'll look something like that. And what you want to do is ask what is always true about points on this line to figure out its equation. And notice that the y values can take on any value, but the x values are always the same value. In fact, x is always equal to 8. So this right here, this is actually the equation of the line we're looking for. It's perpendicular to this horizontal line, and it goes through this specific point, 8 comma -4. So this is our equation, and from here, let's look at one more example problem. And for this one, we need to write the equation of a line that is parallel to this line y is equal to minus 0.75x, and it passes through the point 8 comma 0. So remember that parallel lines have the same slope. So if we called this line right here y1, this has slope minus 0.075. And it looks like its y-intercept is 0 since we're not adding or subtracting anything. So this actually goes through the origin. But that's not important. The important part is we know the slope. The slope is always the number attached to x, since if we compare it to our slope-intercept form, m is the number attached to x or multiplied by x. So in this case, our slope is minus 0.75. So the slope of our line will have that exact same slope. And we know it also passes through this point 8 comma 0. So we can write our line as y2 is minus 0.75x, and it's going to have some different y-intercept because it's passing through this point right here. And we can find that by two different strategies. Either we can plug in what we know for x and y and then solve for b, or we could use point slope form. So either way works. And since in the last video I used point slope form to find the equation of our second line, in this video I'll use slope intercept form to find that. So we're going to plug in x is equal to 8 and y is equal to 0 and then solve this equation for b. So we're setting y equal to 0. So 0 is minus 0.75 multiplied by x, but x in this case is 8. And we're going to add b to that since b is what we're trying to find. That's our y-intercept. And we just need to simplify this. So remember, minus 0.75 is just negative 3/4. Now, if you don't remember that, that's okay. You can just multiply decimals here, but personally, I'd rather multiply fractions. So we have 0 is minus 3/4 times 8 plus b, and minus 3 times 8, that's minus 24. And 24 divided by 4 is 6. So this is just minus 6. So we get 0 is negative 6 plus b. And if we solve for b, we can just add 6 to each side. So b in this case is equal to 6, which means we can complete our equation. We can say that y2 is minus 0.75x plus 6. And you can test this because it has the same slope of the line that's parallel to it. And if you plug in this point, you will get something that is valid or true. So if we plug in 8 here, we get minus 6 plus 6, which is 0. So it does go through this point here.